They sold you a lie, the lone wolf, the fantasy that walking alone makes you strong, untouchable, dangerous. And maybe you believed it because it sounded noble, because it whispered to your ego that you don't need anyone, that you're above the herd, that you can carry the world on your shoulders without help. But the truth is uglier, because lone wolves don't build, they don't last, they fade into nothing. And deep down you know it, because when has walking alone ever built an empire? When has isolation ever forged a legend? Never. You felt it, those nights alone, telling yourself you're different, but knowing deep down you were slipping. How many promises have you made and broken? How many times have you said tomorrow I'll change, tomorrow I'll start, and tomorrow never came? How many years have slipped through your fingers while you convinced yourself you were grinding, when really you were drifting? That's not strength, that's collapse in slow motion. Most men will tap out here because it's too heavy to face. If you're still here, prove you're not like them. I'll admit it, I lived that lie. I thought silence would sharpen me. I thought shutting everyone out made me stronger. But silence didn't sharpen me, it dulled me. It made me softer, weaker, blind to my own decay. I told myself I was disciplined, but I was drifting. I told myself I was strong, but I was starving. I learned the hard way. Suffering in silence isn't noble, it's poison. The lone wolf doesn't rise, he rots. And I refuse to let other men die the same slow death. Here's what most men don't see. The lone wolf lie wasn't just a bad idea. It was planted in you. A system that wants you small, that wants you weak, that wants you alone. A system that rewards obedience, that bleeds you dry, that kills you slowly while you thank it for comfort. It has a name. The program. The program is the invisible system that rewrites men into weakness. It tells you porn is intimacy. It tells you scrolling at 3 a.m. is relaxation. It tells you sitting alone is discipline when really it makes you softer every day. It takes women and turns them into dopamine machines. It dangles money like shackles. It hands you fake power, likes, followers, empty validation, and calls it influence. It poisons men with comfort and calls it freedom. From the school desk that rewards obedience, to the cubicle that drains your soul, to the porn tab that empties your will at night. That's the program. And the program doesn't fear the lone wolf. It feeds on him. And here's the truth. Fight it alone, and the program always wins. At first, isolation feels clean, even strong. No one to question you, no one to slow you down, just you and your grind. But silence grows heavy. The grind loses sharpness. Standards slip because no one is there to hold you accountable. You break one promise, then another, and nobody notices because nobody's there. Until one day, you don't even notice yourself. Alone, you waste hours. Alone, you chase dopamine. Alone, you convince yourself survival is success. And here's the tragedy. Most men don't collapse with a bang. They wither in silence. They fade out of life like ghosts while pretending they're lions. That's not strength, that's slow death. But history tells another law. Spartans didn't fight alone. They locked shields. Builders didn't raise cathedrals by themselves. They worked stone by stone, side by side. Even wolves in the wild don't hunt alone. They move in packs, relentless and coordinated. Nature doesn't reward the lone wolf. Nature rewards brotherhood. When men rise together, the program loses control. Discipline becomes normal. Courage becomes contagious. And quitting becomes impossible. And this is what the program fears most. Men who refuse isolation. Men who rise shoulder to shoulder because brotherhood makes cowards brave. It makes the weak strong, and it makes quitting impossible. That's why brotherhood isn't optional, it's law. That's why we built the code. The code isn't motivation, it isn't hype, it's the uninstall. It deletes weakness line by line and rewrites you into strength. Discipline before comfort, brotherhood before ego, legacy before pleasure, truth before delusion, action before words. These aren't tips, these are laws. And when you live them daily, in training, in work, in the way you speak to yourself when nobody is watching, the program starts to break. And make no mistake, the code doesn't make life easier. The code makes you unbreakable. And you don't need to conquer the world tomorrow. You need one clean win tonight. No phone in the last 30 minutes before sleep. Write one promise for tomorrow and keep it. Tell one man you trust that promise. Wake up and do it before you touch a screen. That's how momentum begins. Not with fireworks, but with stacked wins, brick by brick, habit by habit, until your wall is unbreakable. Most men already quit. They scrolled away. They couldn't take the weight, but you're still here. And that's no accident. The program spits out men who wake up. The code pulls them in. So prove it. Type, I follow the code. No emojis, no filler, just the oath. That's your first uninstall. Then subscribe, because this isn't entertainment. It's the way out. Lone wolves die in silence, but together we rise.